Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, coming at you live to talk about episode 11 of the anime series Princess Principal. And holy hell, the team has been completely ripped asunder, all because of this new directive, this militaristic directive, pointedly seeking to take out Princess herself. And what's more, by the end, you know, the queen. They want Princess to rise and be, you know, in that role, in that placement. They're sovereign, as they say, the soldiers, by the end of this episode. I really wasn't sure where things were going to go when the episode opens, and you have Dorothy and Ange, you know, Dorothy adamantly does not want to take out Princess. She has put her trust and her faith in Princess. Princess has earned that, and vice versa. And I'm very much, feeling that way. Ange immediately agrees to this new mission. This was the mission all along, really, but they were staving it off because Princess had come to them and said, "Look, I'm on the same page as you. Let's work together as a collective, as a group, as a unit to achieve something for the well-being of the Commonwealth, of the downtrodden, in the face of the Empire." And just the idea that everything has been split asunder, it's insane. And then the merry chase ensues where, Ange is just observing her surroundings. There are a lot more spies that have been maneuvered into place to keep an eye on her. They don't trust necessarily that she'll carry out this plan, this assassination. And it's palpable. I'm watching her, looking around, and everyone's looking at her, a constable over here, a woman just maybe, warming her hands by a fire over there, and, whatever these bystanders were doing. These were probably spies to see whether or not she was trustworthy and loyal to this cause, to this new directive. And I didn't expect that. I didn't expect Ange would actually carry out the assassination, in spite of her own words. She's lying, every other line of dialogue, most of the time. The Black Lizard Planet and all this stuff. So, of course, Dorothy makes herself available, for the most part, to give Ange sort of a few moments to get ahead of her and everything like that, and buy her time, so she can be so observant, so she can plan out a course of action. And she does. Via her dialogue, she suggests she's still pushing the envelope of that idea, that concept that, well, she's going to go ahead and follow orders. She's going to assassinate Princess. She says to herself, after recollecting back to their pasts, well, now I can no longer, in this particular framework, I can no longer protect you. And I thought that was her own internal, mulling this over, trying to decide what she was going to do, and actually potentially deciding, even as unlikely as I figured it would be, potentially deciding to carry out this assassination on Princess. But I was pleasantly surprised. And I shouldn't have been surprised, because it conformed to my expectations that she would help Princess escape. Or at least that was the idea. That was the intended result. They do the little switcheroo, and I like that, they called back on their pasts again when they first met, and they first started doing that, messing about like that. And, but they've been shoehorned between a rock and a hard place by the end, because Princess, that, I spoke about a couple episodes back now, that Princess Principle, where the title really becomes meaningful is Princess's own having conformed herself to Anj's former wants, the necessity of the betterment of mankind, of trying to bring about peace and trying to bring about, you know, financial, monetary equality and help those poor and in need, those downtrodden. She's made it her mission statement. And so when Anj has spirited her away, and all the spies and guards surrounding her, at first it seems as though this was the plan all along. You know, Anj is only following the original design plan. They have no idea that she's going to try to sneak Princess out. They're both going to try to sneak out together. Princess is not aware of this, of course, and when she becomes aware of it, you just want to cut and run? Are you nuts? I still have stuff to accomplish here. I still have stuff I need to do. The things you set out to do. They became my modus operandi. You know, they became my impetus, my driving force. It's everything I'm about now. I can't just leave. And so the falling out, again, to use the term, was palpable. The tension, you know, between Anj and Princess, I was gobsmacked because Princess isn't having it, and they're on that airship, that air vehicle, and she locks Anj in the, you know, storage room or whatever it is, and she goes back, and then for all intents and purposes she walks in the guise of Anj being in Princess's disguise. And this is when the soldiers come to light, their readiness, what they're willing to do, what they want to do, what they plan to carry out to rise Princess up to that hierarchy echelon. And I'm just like, okay, well, Chise's been called back, you know, by her figurehead, her boss. We don't know what the hell happened to Dorothy. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say, you know, you're kind of directed to think somebody was there waiting for Dorothy and probably jumped her and took her out for the count or something like that. But I'm going to flip it on its ear and say, more likely, I suspect, you know, Dorothy got the leg up on whoever that was, and she will be a saving grace who will show up, surprise, surprise, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, in the next episode. Which I'm stunned to learn is actually going to be the final episode of this season. With everything, you know, it's very much conforming back toward the latter half of the first season of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex for me, which I'm obsessed with Ghost in the Shell. I love standalone complex. It's my favorite iteration of Ghost in the Shell. And the whole team was called into question. The whole team was you know, almost burned to the ground. This, you know, public security section 9, they had to fake their own deaths and go their separate ways in the hopes of finding out who did them in and bringing to light the truth, because you know, it was made to look like they were guilty of some transgression or other, you know. And so they all split, and forcibly so. They had no other choice, and that's what we have here. You know, I think the only thing I'm left wondering by the end is, where's Beatrice? You know, where'd she get off to? Is she okay? Did Dorothy maybe go and get her? And they're both going to come swooping in? Maybe they're going to, you know, have recruited Chise again as well? I don't know. But the whole team was ripped apart. We had this newly debuted Zelda character who kind of, the character design looked like a you know, if she hadn't been an android, reminded me of our Dorothy Wainwright from the anime series Big O. Although the hair color was blonde herein, whereas it was sort of gray, whitish in the Big O. But she kind of, you know, this Zelda character reminded me of that. And as a fan of the many loves of Dobie Gillis, I was like, well, she's no Zelda Gilroy, is she? Not many of you are going to even know what the hell I'm talking about there. But yeah, this was a tense episode, and I can't wait to see what the hell is going to happen in the season finale. And I don't know if there's, call for a second season or not, but I'll definitely be on board for it if that is the case. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode. If you are as gobsmacked as I am by the end of it, that the team has been completely ripped apart. And how you think things are going to proceed. I hesitate to speculate, but I still love having that conversation. So yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.